Hello student, good morning. As in the civics, we are talking about the recognition of equality. We have read the examples in the chapter. We might have gone for it. Then we have read about the equality in Indian democracy. We have read some points. Now let's have a discussion. What they have given here. This recognition of equality includes some of the following provisions in the Indian Constitution. Mean to say how we can recognize the equality in our country. So it includes some following provisions they have given here. Okay, first that every person is equal before the law. It means to say every person in our country means that is equal in front of the law. What about the laws? Laws have been made by the Indian government and given in the Indian Constitution. These are implemented on each and every person equally. Okay, right? What this mean? That is every person that has been given here. What does the meaning of every person? From the president of the country to Kanta, a domestic worker, has to obey the same laws. What about the rules? Whether these are the any person, as they have given the example, whether these are this is president, prime minister, or any common man. So these laws are implemented on everyone as the same manner. Mean to say that they have to obey the same laws. Second, no person can be discriminated against on the basis of their religion, race, caste, place of birth, or whether they are male or female. Here as well as it has been given, so no one will be discriminated in our country, and no one can be discriminated in our country on the basis of their religion, on the basis of their race. Race means to say their this one color, on the basis of caste, on the basis of place of birth, or whether they are male or female. Mean to say no one can discriminate against these all the things. So every person will be treated equally. Third, every person has access all the public places, including playground, hotels, shops, and markets. Mean to say whatever the public places are there, so every person can go, every person can enjoy these public places as they have given here. That is playground, hotels, shops, and markets. Mean to say no one can will do any kind of the discrimination on the basis of religion, race, caste, place of birth, like this. Okay. Then all persons can use publicly available wells. Whatever the available the things that can be used, that can be consumed by the every person, like available wells, roads, bathing ghats, etc. Okay, as you all know that. So whatever the wells public, like you might have seen nearby the roadsides, what are the hand pumps? I'm giving you the example, hand pumps that can be used by everyone, and the roads which have been constructed by the government, so they can be used by everyone. Mean to say everyone, mean to say every sections of the society, mean to say every person of the country that they can use, even the bathing ghats. Fourth, the untouchability has been abolished. In earlier Indian society, this untouchability was practiced. Now it has been abolished by the government in our country. Mean to say, if you go through the Indian Constitution, so you will find there is article 17, in which the untouchability has been banned by the government. Okay, so we will not practice this untouchability now. Mean to say, earlier this was practiced between the upper and lower caste people. So now it has been abolished by the government. Okay, then the two ways in which the government has tried to implement the equality that is guaranteed in the Constitution is first through the laws, and second through the government programs or schemes to help disadvantaged communities. Whoever the disadvantaged communities who are not getting the advantage of these rules and regulations, so the government has just tried to implement these the equality among the people, among the communities people, by two ways. The first, by making the laws, by implementing the laws, the government is trying to implement the equality, and second, through the government is running many programs or schemes which can help to those people who are not getting the advantage of equality. Okay, there are several laws in India that protect every citizen's right to be treated equally, and here that has been given. Many of the laws have been just made by the government to protect every person's right to be treated equally. Mean to say every person must be treated equally in our country For this one, the government has made many laws. In addition to laws, the government has to also set up several schemes to improve the lives of the communities and individuals who have been treated unequally for several centuries. For implementing the equality among the communities, among the people in our country, so the government has set up many schemes. The government has made many schemes, many programs to improve the condition of the lives of the communities and the individuals who were treated unequally for several years, for several centuries. Okay, these schemes are to ensure greater opportunities for people who have not had this in the past. So, in the early years, in the that past years, whatever the opportunities were not just getting by these communities and individuals, now the government has made the schemes to make it sure to get the great opportunities for those disadvantaged people or community. Okay, then one of the steps taken by the government includes the midday meal scheme. Here they have given one of the example, the step which have been taken, which have been initiated by the government, that has been given about the midday meal scheme. Midday meal means at the daytime, the lunch that will be taken by the student at the school, mainly in the government schools. Okay, so this refers to the program introduced in all government elementary schools to provide children with cooked lunch. Okay, cooked lunch not only in the elementary from that is 1 to class 8th. Okay, so every student is getting that particular cooked lunch during the daytime in these schools. Tamil Nadu was the first state in India to introduce this scheme. So Tamil Nadu, as they have given, it just launched, introduced this scheme at first in its state, and in 2001 the Supreme Court asked all the state government to begin this program in their schools within 6 months. So from 2001 it has been ordered by the apex court, the Supreme Court of our country, to implement these all the rules in all the country. Means that has been just ordered by the Supreme Court. Okay, and if you take the example of this midday meal scheme, mainly it was launched 15th of August 1995. At that time, that is Mr. S.D. Devgowda, he was the Prime Minister. He introduced this one scheme in our country. Okay, then what has been given after this one, that this program has had many positive effect. So whatever the program, this was midday meal scheme, has been launched, it has many positive effect. What are these? These includes the fact that more poor children have begun enrolling and regularly attending the classes. Mean to say, many of the children, they have taken their admission, they have just enrolling in the schools, enrolled in the schools, and as well as they were regularly attending the classes. Okay, teachers reported that earlier children would often go home for lunch and often not return to school, but now with the midday meal being provided in school, their attendance has been improved. So as at that time, whoever the teachers, they just gave a one kind of suggestion or report to the government. So earlier the children, they would often go to their home during the lunch time for taking the lunch. After taking the lunch, they would not able to come to the school back again. So that is why this scheme has been launched, and which has just improved in the condition of attendance. Their mothers who earlier had to interrupt their work to feed their children at home during the day now no longer need to do so. As in the most of the poor families, their parents, they were interrupted for making the lunch during the lunch time for the children. Now this is no longer. Why it is so? Now these children are getting the lunch in the daytime in the school. Okay, this program has also helped to reduce caste prejudice because both lower and upper caste children in a school eat the meal together, and in a few places Dalit women have been employed to cook the meal. Here they have given, it has also reduced the practices of the caste system. Mean to say, whether you are belonging from upper caste, lower class, so all children are sitting together, they are having their meal together, and even in some of the schools, the Dalit women, the lower caste women, have been employed for cooking the meal, cooking the food in the school. The midday meal program also helps reduce the hunger of poor students who often come to school and cannot concentrate because their stomach are empty. And here that has been also given. This scheme, this program also help to reduce, to remove, to mitigate the hunger of the poor student, because these poor students, they were unable to concentrate, they were unable to attention towards their studies, because they used to come to the school in empty stomach. Mean to say, they didn't, they were not able to feed themselves with the breakfast. So if anyone is getting the hungry, so definitely he will be, and she will be unable to just pay attention towards the study. So this, for this one, the government has also implemented this thing. Okay, now what they have given here: while government programs plays an important role in increasing equality of opportunity, there is much that still needs to be done. As we all know that the government is just launching many programs, and it is also playing an important role in increasing equality of opportunity. But there is still needs to be done something that is needed to be implemented more. While the midday meal programs has helped increase the enrollment and attendance of the poor children in the school, this continues to be a big difference in our country between schools that the rich attend and those that the poor attend. Okay, as they have shown, the one positive, this one aspect of the midday meal, as it has helped to increase the enrollment, the attendance of the poor children in the school, and there continues to be big differences in our country between schools that the rich attend and those that are poor attend. As you all know that there is a big difference in the schools where the rich families, students, they are also attending, and the poor students as well. Even today, there are several schools in our country in which Dalit children like Prakash Balmiki are discriminated against that and treated unequally. Okay, as we have read the example of Prakash Balmiki, in some of the schools even today, these Dalit children are discriminated, and as well as they are treated unequally. These children are forced to into unequal situation in which their dignity is not respected. Okay, as you all know that if these children are forced unequal situation, if they are treated unequally in the schools, certainly it will just hurt their dignity and respect. This is because people refuse to think them as equal, even though the laws requires it. This is because the people, they also refuse to think about them as equal, and even though some laws are required even today. Okay, then the next of the things we will have a discussion in the next one.